Inside the Magic, show number 476 for May 18th, 2014.
Obi-Wan Kenobi here, or James Arnold Taylor, or Master Plo Koon, or Johnny Test, or any numerous characters, but you're inside the magic. I have a bad feeling about this.
It is Sunday, May 18th, 2014. This is show 476 of Inside the Magic, and as always, I am your host, Ricky Briganti, with a fun Star Wars-packed show and a whole lot of other great details from theme parks and beyond. Before we get to all of it, I invite you to visit our website at InsideTheMagic.net. There you'll find all of our podcasts, videos, photos, news, articles, and plenty more. And if you ever have any news, tips, questions, comments, or anything else you want to send in, you can write to me at ricky@InsideTheMagic.net, or you can call and leave a message at 407-494-4ITM. That's 4486, and now, let's get on with the show. This week's episode of Inside the Magic is brought to you by Magical Travel. You can book your summer Disney cruise now with Magical Travel and receive a shipboard credit to use while you're on your vacation, but you're going to want to book right away for the best availability and pricing by calling Magical Travel today at 866-207-8387 or visit them online at magicaltravel.com to receive a free price quote. And when you do that, be sure to mention Inside the Magic to receive your free Disney gift card for qualifying bookings when you book your Disney vacation with Magical Travel. And thanks very much to Brian Sorotsky for your donation this week, and to all our monthly recurring donation subscribers and anyone else who contributes to this show. I thank you for all of it. And now, let's get started with a trip around the world. First up, hopefully I sound a little bit better this week. I received numerous emails and messages from all of you, or a lot of you, that there were some staticky issues with last week's podcast, so I apologize for that. I think I've corrected it this week, so hopefully you can hear me loud and clear. Jumping right into the news, we're actually not going to start with Disney because the biggest news of the week comes from Universal Orlando as the Diagon Alley expansion of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter nears completion. Universal Orlando this week sent out invitations to the press for an upcoming 4-day preview event, June 17th through 20th. Now, that does not necessarily indicate an official opening date for Diagon Alley. Universal has declined to divulge that information at this time. Seems likely that it will grand open at the tail end of that, June 20th, June 21st, but not guaranteed, so not going to say that for sure just yet. But 4 days, that's a pretty big press event. I'm sure they'll include the rest of the Cabana Bay Beach Resort to unveil at that point, along with anything else new that they may want to go into. But really, there's a lot going on within Diagon Alley that they'll be talking about, including already this week they released and revealed some new details about Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts, the big new centerpiece attraction that will be part of this Diagon Alley expansion in Universal Studios Florida. The premise of Escape from Gringotts is essentially it's recreating that climactic scene from Deathly Hallows that sent Harry Potter and Hermione and Ron down into the depths of Gringotts and encountering all kinds of nasty things on their way out. The ride is going to feature a combination of real special effects with a whole lot of 3D projections. That's right, this is a 3D ride. They're going to use 4K 3D Infinitec projections along with actual moving vehicles and high-speed thrills. Guests will wear 3D glasses. At one point in the ride, you're actually going to be surrounded by a screen almost completely 360 degrees, something that's not been done before, and it will really completely immerse you into this environment. It sounds like they're really taking the concepts it's kind of a new ride system. It's not a roller coaster, but it is fast-moving, so you can think about sort of the Mummy over there, where it's sort of a roller coaster / dark ride, but then also combine that with like Spider-Man and Transformers into a whole new concept, really evolving that ride system. It should be pretty exciting. The height requirement for this attraction will be 42 inches, which is 6 inches less than Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. So more people will be able to ride this. Of course, as you approach the Gringotts building from the outside, walking down Diagon Alley, the thing you won't be able to miss on top will be the giant fire-breathing dragon permanently perched above the building. Once you step inside to the main lobby, there will be animatronic goblins welcome you in as a muggle visiting. You'll sort of reach the end and have go through a security clearance. You're going to enter Bill Weasley's office, and he'll kind of welcome you in as well. Here's a pretty exciting part about this. There's kind of a show within a show here, where to get down into the depths of the Gringotts Bank, into the vaults, you're going to go on a quote-unquote elevator that has a little show unto itself. So think back to, the hydrolators from years ago at the Living Seas, something akin to that, but with modern technology. That should be pretty exciting. As far as the story, once you get on the ride, you are there just simply taking a tour, but things go horribly wrong as Harry, Ron, and Hermione are sneaking into the bank to retrieve a Horcrux to battle Voldemort. Yes, he's there. He's finally being included in the wizarding world, along with Death Eater Bellatrix Lestrange. You will board into this sort of industrial-looking minecarish vehicle, 12 people per vehicle. Ride's going to be about 4 minutes long, and as you're flying through or zipping through the ride, you'll certainly see that trio, as well as the bad guys that I just mentioned, and trolls, and dragon, and Voldemort. He'll be, even though Voldemort was not part of this scene in the movie, he's still going to be in there. They kind of felt the need to include him. So that's the details of that attraction for now. You can see a little bit of video and a whole lot of new artwork over on our website, InsideTheMagic.net. In addition, the Today Show this week had a first look at the Hogwarts Express train in the station in King's Cross Station. So if you want to see what that looks like with the steam billowing overhead, you can check our website for that. And we also have some video from USA Today, who got an exclusive first look at a lot more from Diagon Alley, along with some of the, including some of the ice cream flavors that will be served at Florian Fortescue's Ice Cream Parlor. So to see all of that, head to our website. And stay tuned for much, much more Potter in the coming weeks. It seems highly likely that it will officially open next month, but it's also highly likely that a soft opening will happen much sooner than that. So really looking forward to seeing it. Now, over at Disney, of course, coming up in just a few days, the Rock Your Disney Side Party. It's this year's version of the 24-hour party, starting at 6 a.m. this Friday, May 23rd, continuing through 6 a.m. Saturday, May 24th. The Magic Kingdom will be open for 24 hours, as well as Disneyland and Disney California Adventure out in California. And a few details have come out about the special entertainment that Disney will be including in these parties. At Walt Disney World at the Magic Kingdom, there will be meet and greets with Maleficent, Cruella de Vil, the Big Bad Wolf, Stromboli from Pinocchio, and the Bowler Hat Guy from Meet the Robinsons. There's also going to be something they're calling the It's Good to Be Bad Cavalcade, right before the Main Street Electrical Parade. Sounds like something out of the Halloween parade. So maybe it'll be one of those floats, or maybe several of those floats, or maybe something completely new. We'll see. There will also be a dance party held in front of Cinderella Castle and in Frontierland, and the hashtag Incredible Super Dance Party, that's the actual name of the show, will also take place in Tomorrowland, just like it does every day. At Disneyland, there will be very different entertainment. Between the Disneyland Park and Disney California Adventure, there will be a really large sand sculpture of Olaf. Of course, Olaf loves summer, so he's there for summer. This is kind of the kickoff of the summer season for Disney. At Disneyland, they're going to have an Avengers superhero movie marathon in the Magic Eye Theater in Tomorrowland, where you can watch all of those Marvel movies. There will be an after midnight performance, a Mickey's Soundsational Parade, as well as dance parties at the Tomorrowland Terrace Dance Club and in front of Sleeping Beauty Castle. In Royal Hall and Fantasy Fair, you will meet Disney villains instead of the princesses. And then over at Disney California Adventure, there will be an all-night Mad Tea Party, along with dancing at Pacific Wharf and the Paradise Garden area, as well as a special 3 a.m. performance of World of Color. So I think I will be popping in and out of this party at the Magic Kingdom. Not sure if I'll be there at the beginning or the end or what in the middle, but I'll definitely show up at some point to enjoy the extra festivities. I'll certainly be there for that special character cavalcade at night, and then we'll see what else. But it sounds like a lot of fun. Now, more parade news coming from Disneyland starting next month in mid-June. The characters from Frozen will be joining Mickey's Soundsational Parade in a pre-parade. There's going to be a new float added before the Soundsational Parade, and it's going to feature Anna, Elsa, and Olaf on that float. Kind of an icy, snowy-looking float. So those who don't want to wait to meet those characters in Fantasyland will at least be able to see them before the parade this summer. Speaking of Olaf, back out here to Walt Disney World, Olaf has begun to show up on Walt Disney World water park advertisements. He's not part of the water parks, but of course the natural jump from there is to wonder if Olaf would be making his way to Blizzard Beach. Makes sense to me, but nothing firm, nothing announced, nothing even rumored, really. Just sort of interesting to see Olaf being used to advertise the water parks. Now, recently we talked about the announcement of Trader Sam's Grog Grotto coming to the Polynesian Hotel out here at Walt Disney World, as well as some changes going on into the lobby. Well, Walt Disney World has released some new details and artwork this week about those changes in the Polynesian lobby, the updated lobby. There will be a new eatery called the Pineapple Lanai Kiosk, and of course that will be serving the popular Dole Whip. That will be opening later this year. No word as to what's going to happen to Captain Cook's, which is where the self-serve Dole Whip was before. It's also not clear if this new Pineapple Lanai kiosk will be self-serve or just serving Dole Whip. But even more exciting than that, Trader Sam's Grog Grotto, a version of the Trader Sam's Enchanted Tiki Bar from California, is going to feature the character Oa. You might remember that tiki goddess of disaster from the under-new management version of the Enchanted Tiki Room at the Magic Kingdom. She's back, and she will be part of the experience at the Grog Grotto. Of course, the Oa is the name of a drink that's currently served at the original Trader Sam's at Disneyland, and so it seems likely that when guests order that drink out here at Walt Disney World, this goddess will likely spring to life in be angry and stuff. So there's artwork of the lobby as well as more from Trader Sam's Grog Grotto, including Oa, over on our website. Some new details have been announced for the 19th annual Epcot International Food and Wine Festival that begins September 19th, a few months from now, after summer. It's actually going to be longer than it has been in the past, 53 days this year, continuing through November 10th. There's going to be a new marketplace called the Patagonia Marketplace that's going to combine the cuisines of Argentina and Chile. It will include sustainable roasted verlasso salmon, as well as a quinoa salad and arugula chimichurri. Also, the Florida Local Marketplace is being replaced by the Farm Fresh Marketplace. Still going to feature local flavors, including a new bacon and eggs dish that'll have Applewood smoked pepper-coated bacon, sweet corn, potatoes, hollandaise sauce, and pickled jalapenos. In addition to the Brazil Marketplace will be, and I may mispronounce this, the Moseca de Pescado, a fresh tilapia dish featuring coconut lime sauce and steamed rice. Other new details about the festival can be found, once again, over on our website. Other new things coming this summer: 2 new hotels at Walt Disney World. One is brand new. The other is a renovated hotel. The new one is the Four Seasons Resort Orlando. Yes, that Four Seasons, the luxurious Four Seasons. It's going to be located, naturally, within the gated Golden Oak community, which is the highly exclusive community with multi-million-dollar single-family homes on Walt Disney World property. The Four Seasons is going to include views of the Magic Kingdom's fireworks from its rooftop restaurant, as well as from some of the park view rooms. Other rooms will have a view of Epcot's Illuminations fireworks. On site, there will be a Disney Planning Center where guests can help one-on-one with a cast member get help planning their vacation tickets, dining reservations, and all that stuff. There will be a Good Morning breakfast with Goofy and his pals, buffet-style breakfast with character moments. There will be free transportation from that hotel to the parks via what they call luxury motor coaches, or if you want to pay a little extra, you can get a private white vehicle to take you around. On property there at the Four Seasons will be a 5-acre water park called Explorer Island. That'll include a lazy river with a rapid section and 2 water slides and a splash zone with water cannons. There will also be table tennis, bocce ball, beach volleyball, rock climbing wall. An area called the Hideout will have video games and an Italian gelateria. The mansion area, as they're calling it, will have a kids program, a included kids camp for ages 5 to 12. There will also be an 18 treatment room spa, an adults-only pool, an 18-hole golf course, 3 tennis courts, a lakeside fitness center. It's quite the sprawling resort. All of that is going to open within Golden Oak on August 3rd. Now, the other hotel that's opening up very soon, the renovated downtown Disney area hotel, is becoming the B Resort. They haven't actually announced an opening date, but if you check the reservations that are available on their website, they start June 1st, so it seems like that's the opening. The introductory rates for this hotel are definitely less expensive than the Four Seasons, starting at $159 per night, including the fees and self-parking, so not too bad. It's a 394-room hotel that includes a spa, free high-speed internet, a mini fridge in all the rooms. There's a zero-entry saltwater pool with water features, fire pits, a kids zone, courtesy loaner iPads will be available, and a signature restaurant there in the hotel will be called American Q, which is a barbecue restaurant. Here's some news for you runners out there. The 2015 Walt Disney World Marathon Weekend is adding something new. To finish off your experience, you can go to the Disney Castaway Cay Challenge, which is a joint venture between Run Disney and Disney Cruise Line. After you've done the 5K, the 10K, the half marathon, and or the full marathon, which is going to be January 7th through 11th of next year, you can then, on January 14th, head off to Disney's private island, Castaway Cay, and go on the 5K race there. And if you complete the whole challenge, you get 2 medals, including an inaugural Disney Castaway Cay Challenge medal and the separate Castaway Cay 5K medallion. So if you're big into collecting those medals, this is a good opportunity for you. Here's some news that just came out a few hours ago from jumping out to Disneyland now. Surprise, big changes to the tickets and their prices. No warning this time around. Disneyland has raised its ticket prices. The one-day, one-park ticket is now $96 for adults. That's a $4 increase. Prices for annual passes went up too, but here's the real catch to this story. Disney has halted sales for new Southern California annual passports. Renewals are still allowed, but you cannot buy currently a new Southern California annual passport. The cost for renewals, $379. The Southern California Select is still available at $289, but that one's blocked out on weekends. So basically, Disney has said that to make it less crowded, essentially, that they've had to do this. The parks are getting very, very, very crowded because of locals, particularly the Southern California locals, who are taking advantage of this pass that's relatively inexpensive, and then go all the time, go to Disneyland every day of the week, and just hang out. You know, not even necessarily ride anything, don't buy anything, just kind of hang out in the streets, sit around, talk, do whatever, have fun with friends, but not really give Disney anything back for that, other just buy the ticket and then spend the entire year essentially clogging up the streets. Naturally, that was what it was there for. You buy the ticket, you've got your admission, so you can do whatever you want with it at that point. Well, Disney essentially is now saying that's not what they want out of their locals. They continue to raise prices because there's so many annual pass holders for Disneyland that it's just clogging up the park all the time. There's not really a down season. There's not really a downtime at Disneyland anymore, and this is Disney's way of trying to do something about that. So, it's an interesting problem that they have. There is no easy solution to that because the locals around Southern California have certainly enjoyed this ticket for quite a long time. The ability to go to Disneyland whenever they want, maybe for 10 minutes, maybe for 2 hours, maybe for a whole day, and just kind of have fun and do whatever they wanted. But for anybody who is maybe going on a once-in-a-lifetime trip out there, when they get to the park and it's just the streets are just packed all the time, especially at night after people get off of work or on the weekends, and it's not so great for those who are on those unique trips that they've never been to Disneyland before, and it's just like packed with locals. So I can't say it's anybody's fault other than Disney for not planning ahead for all of this, and now they're trying to fix it by jacking up prices and reducing the number of tickets that are being sold. So an interesting way to combat this. They've done it before. It's not the first time they've halted sales on a variety of annual passes, and it's possible they'll actually extend this to stop sales of other annual passes as well in the near future. It's not necessarily a permanent change, but just for now, in order to kind of get it all under control, subject to availability is how Disney likes to say it. So an interesting move. I'm sure a lot of people will not be happy about it, but so it goes. In the world of merchandise, recently released was a graphic novel called Space Mountain. It's a kind of, comic-style book with adding a story to the classic Space Mountain attraction. It's set in the year 2125. It's a time travel tale following two cadets of the Magellan Science Academy on this sort of time-bending mission to save the galaxy, along with some space heroes and android friends. Lots of Disney references throughout. Really fun read, actually. It's well-drawn. I would recommend picking it up. It's a pretty neat little book. New from Disney Interactive is a game called Maleficent Free Fall, promoting the upcoming Maleficent movie. The game is free to play. It's a puzzle adventure for iOS, Android, and Windows devices, featuring one of the little gemstone puzzle games. There's a million of those out there, and this one's Maleficent themed, so if that interests you, you can find it in each respective app store. Now, last week on the show, I was talking about sort of the future of Frozen and what it means for the parks, particularly Princess Fairy Tale Hall. I published an article over on our website this week about even more of that, about the pre-parade coming to Disneyland, the fact that Frozen is going to Broadway at some point, the potential for another movie someday maybe, and, well, here's the big surprise that happened last weekend for Frozen on TV. And I warn you, this is a bit of a spoiler alert if somehow you've been living under a rock for the last week. Chances are everybody knows about this by now. But I'm giving you a chance to jump ahead here for a few minutes if you have not seen a particular Disney show from last weekend. So, yeah, there we go. So, last weekend on the season finale of Once Upon a Time, in the final moments of the show on ABC, I don't watch the show, so I don't really know what was going on, but there was some sort of blue goo oozing on the ground, and it turned into a female figure, which everybody quickly realized was none other than Elsa as a live-action person. So Frozen is indeed coming to Once Upon a Time next season in some form. The show's creators have even said that Elsa is not the only Frozen character that will be joining the world of Once Upon a Time. So an interesting move there for Disney to not only have Frozen at the parks and plenty of merchandise and going to Broadway and the soundtrack, and now there's going to be a bit of Frozen on TV too. Speaking of movies, the movie Muppets Most Wanted has been announced to be coming to Blu-ray and digital download on August 12th with some fun bonus features. It will include the unnecessarily extended cut, the Statler and Waldorf cut, which I'm going to go ahead and guess is going to be really, really short, the longest blooper reel in Muppets history, Rizzo's biggest fan, and a music video of I'll Get You What You Want performed by Brett McKenzie. Also coming to Blu-ray and digital download a week later, August 19th, will be Toy Story of Terror, which I loved, and it's going to include a lot of bonus features on this release. I'll just list them here. The Toy Story tunes that are going to be included are Hawaiian Vacation, Small Fry, Partysaurus Rex. There will be audio commentaries for all of those, as well as the Toy Story of Terror. There will be 3 deleted scenes with some editor introductions, a travel brochures, the Pencil Topper Trilogy, whatever that is, Road Trip Roulette, vintage toy commercials. That should be pretty amusing for Old Timer, Combat Carl, and Transitron. As well as a D23 teaser for this. So, yeah, should be pretty fun release there. I'm really looking forward to it. Back to the world of TV. If you've been watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., that season finale happened recently. I'm not going to spoil anything here other than to say if you weren't watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., if you gave up on it a long time ago, like I was very tempted to do because it was kind of it got a lot better by the end of the season, and the very last episode of the season, I think, is the first episode that anybody who's following the Marvel Cinematic Universe, if you've been watching all of the Marvel films, you need to see this last episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Even if you've seen none of the others, go watch this last episode because it has a major plot point that surely will be carried forward into an upcoming Marvel film. So definitely tying it all together there, and I have a feeling it will even be more intertwined come the second season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Also, in the world of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Guardians of the Galaxy is coming up, and this Monday, tomorrow, May 19th at 10 a.m. Pacific Time, there will be a Guardians of the Galaxy live Q&A on their Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Guardians of the Galaxy, with some of the cast of the film, and also a new trailer will be released, and a new Guardians of the Galaxy poster has already been released, and it is a fantastic poster. I want to get it and frame it and put it on my wall. I don't even care if the movie is good. It's a really excellent poster. I had shared it on our Facebook page as well. Go check it out if you haven't seen it. It's really colorful and awesome looking. Just a little while ago, over on Twitter, I believe it was Kyle who sent me a message letting me know that on KCRW's The Business podcast this week, director Jon Favreau has come out and said that the Magic Kingdom movie that he was supposed to be creating for Disney or directing for Disney is not going to happen, at least not under his watch. He has moved on to other projects, and that is disappointing. I was really looking forward to seeing what that movie was going to be, but I guess it kind of has fallen apart. It's possible that it will go ahead with another director, but Favreau seemed to indicate that it's just kind of a dead project. But another movie that is most definitely not dead is Disney is working on a live-action Cinderella film starring Lily James in the title role, as well as Cate Blanchett as Lady Tremaine and many others. And this week they released the first teaser trailer for that film. It doesn't really show a whole lot other than the iconic glass slipper, but you can see that video, which got a whole lot of attention over on our website as well. But the biggest movie news of all, and certainly something that will carry forward in this week's show here, came with a simple tweet this week that read, #Day1, and a photo of a clapboard. And that was a tweet from J.J. Abrams' production company Bad Robot, revealing that production has officially begun on Star Wars Episode 7 in London. It's about 570-something days until the movie comes out on December 18th, 2015. Abrams is quite adamant about keeping as much of this as secret as possible. He wants the mystery to remain around this film, which I say is a wonderful thing. I hope spoilers don't leak out. I hope, set photos can be kept to a minimum for people with really long lenses spying on things and all of that. I don't want to know anything. I just want to know that there's a film and it's going to be great, and that's it. I just want to go into it and watch it. So we'll see how that goes over the next year and a half until the movie comes out. But as I said, more Star Wars in just a moment. That'll do it for your news from around the world this week. And this week's tip is indeed Star Wars related. In fact, Star Wars Weekends, which is what I'll be talking about here in just a minute. But my tip from Star Wars Weekends, which began at Disney's Hollywood Studios this weekend, is if you have already booked a FastPass Plus reservation for one of the presentations at Star Wars Weekends, or if you plan to, when you show up a little early. Don't expect to scan your little pass and just go right into the presentation and get a reserved seat or a best spot or anything, because they actually let the FastPass Plus holders in at the same time as the standby line. Of course, you waited a lot less time. You probably only will wait 5 or 10 minutes, whereas people in line may have been there for hours and hours, but you all get an equal shot at the seats. And if you're in the back of the FastPass Plus line, you'll actually get a much worse seat than those who are in the front of the standby line. So if you want to guarantee yourself a really good seat, even if you have a FastPass Plus reservation, you still need to get there early, just not as early as everybody else. Maybe half an hour before the show instead of like 4 hours before the show. Of course, if you show up right, I showed up the other day about 5 minutes before the show. I still got a pretty good seat. It wasn't front row, but it was still good. So there's your tip for getting a seat with FastPass Plus at Star Wars Weekends. Everybody else, email your tips into tips@insidethemagic.net. And now I do indeed want to talk more about Star Wars Weekends, which began this week at Walt Disney World. 5 weekends this year. This first one was very exciting. I was there on day one, and there's some fun changes this year. Of course, Star Wars Weekends is filled, the Disney's Hollywood Studios, with characters and merchandise and celebrities. But really, two big sort of things are going on this year, differences with Star Wars Weekends. One, of course, as I just said, Episode 7 just started filming. So you can imagine there will be little hints of Star Wars Episode 7 here and there throughout Star Wars Weekends in the coming weeks, including this weekend, which I'll be sharing in just a little bit. Nothing spoilery, just kind of fun tidbits here and there. Of course, Star Wars Rebels, so I guess really three things. Star Wars Rebels is also coming up, the new animated show. There's definitely a lot about Star Wars Rebels happening at Star Wars Weekends, including the appearance of 3 new characters from Rebels. Unfortunately, they're not meeting and greeting with guests, which is really disappointing, but the characters are there, sort of the lead characters of Star Wars Rebels, and they show up in the motorcade, they show up on stage at the end of the day, and they also show up in the Behind the Force presentation about Star Wars Rebels and with Star Wars Rebels cast members as well. So that's a nice addition to there for those who are looking forward to that show. And there's sort of little hints of Rebels here and there throughout. So they're really definitely trying to push that as much as possible. But the biggest change is the end of the day show, where Hyperspace Hoopla does not exist anymore, and it's been replaced by a new stage show and some fireworks. So I'll be talking about that in just a little bit. So let's backtrack here to talk about the celebrities, the stars, and a bit about Episode 7 as well. Stars of the Saga is the name of the talk show at Star Wars Weekends that will sort of be the highlight of celebrity encounters there. It's hosted by James Arnold Taylor, who you heard at the top of the show. I know I've been using that intro a lot lately, but it's a fun intro that he recorded for us a few years ago. And he was the voice of Obi-Wan Kenobi in the Clone Wars, and he's a host of Star Wars Weekends, and he's done a tremendous amount of other voices as well. If you haven't seen his voice work, look it up on YouTube. It's really quite entertaining to watch him go through hundreds of familiar voices that he does. But for this Stars of the Saga talk show, he has the chance to sit down with the celebrities from the Star Wars universe that are attending the week's events at Star Wars Weekends. And this weekend were Ahmed Best, who is the voice and actor for Jar Jar Binks. He doesn't do a lot of appearances, as you might imagine, since Jar Jar is not exactly the most liked character, but he was actually really funny and entertaining. Also there this weekend was Peter Mayhew, who has been Chewbacca forever and is once again being reprising his role as Chewbacca for Episode 7 and hopefully beyond. So very entertaining to see all of that. So I want to play for you some highlights of all of that. And after James Arnold Taylor came out and introduced himself, he shared a surprise special message from none other than director of Episode 7, J.J. Abrams.
We have somebody else that couldn't make it, but wanted to leave you all a little message. Take a look at the screens.
Hi, I'm J.J. Abrams. I'm in London working on the new Star Wars movie. Otherwise, I'd be there with you today. I can't tell you what a thrill it's been over the past year, working with this incredible team, helping build these worlds, creatures, costumes, designs, seeing everything come to life. I can't wait for you to see it. So I'm sorry I can't be there with you at Star Wars Weekend, but I've had a great time. Thank you, and the Force be with you.
So a fun little message there, nothing revealing, obviously, but it's nice to see JJ pop in, even if just from a video message. Hopefully he'll, in future weeks, have updated messages that he can send from the set. I'm sure it won't be anything spoilery, but that would be fun if they were different ones throughout the course of Star Wars Weekends. We'll have to wait and see on that. From there, James Arnold Taylor brought out Ahmed Best, who talked quite a bit about being Jar Jar and in creating that character for the film series. Of course, Jar Jar has absolutely nothing to do with the new trilogy, so didn't go into that at all, but it was still very entertaining. If you want to see that whole talk, head to our YouTube channel where I've posted it there. Immediately following that was Peter Mayhew, who came out walking on stage, which was great because he's been in a wheelchair for a long time, doesn't get around very well, but was explaining how he's had some pretty major surgeries lately to help him have much better mobility. He's able to walk around a bit now, and most importantly, for the world of Star Wars, is he's able to become Chewbacca once again, which of course everybody was thrilled about. So here is what he had to say about that famous photo that everybody has seen now, announcing the cast of Star Wars Episode 7.
Now we know that a lot of it would be so you could walk and be in comfort, but there are other reasons that you wanted to be able to have this ability.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
I heard this other film's going to be made.
Is there another film? Is there another film?
Yeah.
That's the cast. You know what I love about this is, look at this. So this is, if for those of you, like the two that have been on Hoth that don't know this is that's J.J. Abrams. Oh, look at that. Look at, thank you. That's fantastic. There's everybody's names. This is the cast of Episode 7 of Star Wars. Never thought Here's what I love about this. Everybody's doing their thing. And you're reading. Is that Andy there? So you and Andy are the only ones reading the script. Everybody else is like, hey, so how's it going? Oh, yeah, Star Wars, we'll get to it. You guys are actually like reading that script. You know, boy, that's what I'd be doing.
Because we didn't have the chance to complete it before that first reading. So.
Well, Clone Wars was like that for Ahmed and I too, where we would you get the scripts. Basically, Star Wars is so, private. It's like you get it as you go to do it.
Oh yeah.
So was it exciting? An exciting day though to sit there with everybody again, and very surreal to be back with all your old, Harrison and Mark. Mark Hamill will be here week 4 Star Wars weekend. And okay, so what hasn't changed then? There's a lot of things that have changed, obviously the technology, but with Star Wars, in looking at that picture, it seems still kind of the same stuff.
Because J.J. Abrams, he wants to go back to the original Star Wars. Set so that you could react to those characters, and that was partially the success of Star Wars and Empire.
Fun little insight there from Chewbacca himself, Peter Mayhew. You can see some video of his whole talk as well on our YouTube channel, where they did a sort of a fun little skit involving the voice of Chewbacca and other amusing moments. Now, the Stars of the Saga talk show, no matter what the celebrities are there, ends with a very special Disney-inspired moment.
It's Star Wars weekends, but it's Disney, you see. So we need to find somebody and somehow to combine both Disney and Star Wars at Star Wars weekends. So who better to combine both than, ladies and gentlemen, Jedi Mickey! Okay, Jedi Mickey, how cool is Jedi Mickey? I turned into Jerry Seinfeld. You're so cool! Hey Mickey, you're all set up in your attire there, so we've got to put our Mickey attire on. So Peter, there you go. You didn't see this coming, did you?
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's another hat. I'm going to look at your ears the whole time we're talking. I'm only going to look up at your ears. All right, so this is the way it works, guys. We do this. Oh, this is fantastic. Now we have to close the show. Vicky, will you help us close the Stars of the Saga talk show?
It would be my pleasure.
Awesome, okay. Are we ready? Oh, then a little music, maestro, please. Now it's time to say goodbye to all our company. M-I-C.
See you real soon.
K-Y.
Why? Because he's a Lightyear.
And so concluded the Stars of the Saga talk show. Always very entertaining, and from what I understand earlier today, in the same version of that talk show with the same people, it was Peter Mayhew's birthday, so they brought out a Millennium Falcon birthday cake for him and had a little celebration there, so you never know what you're going to see in that. I will definitely attend as many of those as I possibly can in the coming weeks, barring many other things that I'll be doing. Certainly will be there for Mark Hamill in a few weeks. That will be really exciting. It should be interesting to find out what he has to say there. So now let's jump ahead to the end of each day of Star Wars weekends this year, normally ending with Hyperspace Hoopla and the dance-off with the Star Wars stars, which has been something of great controversy over the years, certainly. It's an opportunity, it was an opportunity for Disney to sort of take the Star Wars characters and have some fun with them, to pop music, contemporary music from the past, and have them just kind of go crazy and be funny and dance to it, and always very entertaining, but not exactly true to their characters of Star Wars, really just kind of going a zany direction. And a lot of really hardcore Star Wars fans always took great offense when they saw it, that thought it was just completely disrespectful to Star Wars, and that it should be more true to what Star Wars is. So this year Disney has gone in a new direction. Leading up to Episode 7, I think Disney has felt like, okay, we do need to take Star Wars a little bit more seriously, give it a little more respect, show a little more tasteful approach to it. So the end of the day celebration is called Symphony in the Stars, and it's a combination of a short stage show followed immediately by fireworks. It's hosted by James Arnold Taylor on the stage, the big stage in front of the Sorcerer Mickey hat, in the center of the park. And this new stage show really praises both the Star Wars franchise and its fans without at all poking fun at any of it or parodying any of it. It is very true to Star Wars. It starts with showing up on the screen photos that have been taken throughout the day at Star Wars Weekends that have been tagged on social media with hashtag SWWfinale. Anybody can do that, and then they pick some of their favorites and they put them up on that screen, really bringing the fans into the celebration. Following that, James Arnold Taylor individually welcomes different groups of Star Wars characters to the stage, each with their own sort of special moment. So the Jedis come out wielding lightsabers and do a little sort of moves. The bounty hunters come out and shoot off their weapons with some really cool pyro. The Ewoks come out, and the droids come out. Even the new ones from the Star Wars Rebels TV show come out, and they have sort of graffiti on the stage. I guess that's part of the new show, is something about graffiti and black lights. I don't know what that's all about quite yet. But they each, they let them all have their moment in the spotlight, and then as I said, the pyro is really cool. Darth Maul comes out, and there's giant red flames that come up from the stage, and if you're close to the stage like I was, you can really feel that heat, and James Arnold Taylor's kind of ducking out of the way as the stormtroopers are blasting off their weapons and things flying across the stage. It's pretty neat, and it's definitely true to what Star Wars feels like in the films. There is no parody aspect to any of this, and then it all concludes by packing the stage with all of the characters at once in a very special pose, grouping them all together with Luke and Leia in the center in a pose straight out of the original Star Wars movie poster. Luke has the lightsaber up over his head, Leia's at his side, and it's a great sort of last photo moment. These are your Star Wars characters, and then it launches immediately into the Symphony in the Stars fireworks show, which is essentially the same as the May the 4th show that happened last year as part of Limited Time Magic. It's been tweaked a little bit with some cool new pyrotechnics, some color-changing fireworks, which is really neat. I don't think I've seen something like that before. About a 6-minute fireworks show that has a great finale at the end. I think the show has definitely lost its sense of humor on purpose. I don't know. It's nice, and it's great to see those characters, but it sort of is missing that oomph to it. I feel like it should have ended with like an epic battle between the Jedi and the Sith right there on stage with Darth Vader against Luke or something like that, and that didn't happen. It was kind of really just a big photo moment, which is nice. So you can see video of that whole happening over on our YouTube channel and some photos on the website as well as the fireworks too. It's actually a bit difficult to see the stage show and the fireworks, because if you're up close to the stage and you stay there, you can't see the fireworks at all because it's blocked by the hat. But if you stay farther back and you want to see the fireworks, you can't really see the stage show. So it's kind of weird. You have to sort of rush away from the stage after the show ends. But another thing to add there is Hyperspace Hoopla always created a crowd control nightmare. You had to camp out hours in advance to get a good spot. And if you didn't, you were so far back that you wouldn't even be able to see the show. And even after that, everybody was crammed in to see this. Pretty much everybody in the park was crammed in that one area. And because of that, it became just a complete nightmare of people shoulder to shoulder, elbow to elbow, and it was hot and just crowded. And now, for this new show, people spread out more for because you want to watch the fireworks, so there was actually room to breathe, which was a nice change. So, a different twist. Star Wars Weekend's definitely going in a new direction. It's great for those who hated hyperspace hoopla, but for those who really loved hoopla, you might find the new show to be a bit dull. Just a different direction completely. However, Disney definitely has not lost their sense of humor completely when it comes to Star Wars. Before the Stars of the Saga talk show, there's still, and the other presentations as well, Behind the Force and the other ones, there's still a Stormtrooper skit that happens in the theater, sort of a pre-show to the main stage show. And in the one before the Stars of the Saga that I saw, the Stormtroopers were kind of joking with each other about how bumbling they are, and they showed some clips of them, bloopers from the movie, essentially the Stormtrooper hitting his head and falling down and things like that. And then, after that, was a moment that is probably this year's closest thing to the Dance Off with the Star Wars Stars. Not quite there with the choreography and all of that, but it was the Stormtroopers sharing what is on their Earth playlists, and they were sort of dancing and singing along to contemporary songs. So, well, here's what that sounded like.
Well, since we've been deployed to this planet, I've gathered a lot of interesting finds, like this one. This one. Nice. Move along. Oh, and check this out. Move along. Yeah, those are good. Let's check out my top 3. Check it out. I got the eye of the tiger, dancing through the fire, and you blast Ewoks to that? Yep. And to this one. I came in like a rainbow. I never did some wow. He must really like blasting small furballs to female power ballads. They're the best. Now this one is my all-time favorite. I love this song. The cold never bothered me anyway.
Yes, a bit of Frozen has made its way into the Star Wars universe with the Stormtroopers singing Let It Go, and if, I don't know if you even caught it there, it was a little hard to hear at the end. There was an Adele Dazeem joke thrown in there at the end. So, you can see video of that over on our YouTube channel as well. That was definitely funny. For those who were looking for Star Wars humor, that's the place to find it. And also, as one more sort of footnote to all of this, you might be wondering whatever happened to Snig and Oopla of Hyperspace Hoopla, the hosts of that show for many, many years now. Well, there's another show at Star Wars Weekends called the Padawan Mind Challenge. It takes place a few times during the day on that main stage in front of the Sorcerer Hat, and it's kind of a trivia challenge. They bring some people on stage and they ask Star Wars trivia, and you battle against some characters. And well, there's some new characters that they invented for this show. They're Imperial officers, and one of them looks a lot like Snig from Hyperspace Hoopla. In fact, that new character, who is very funny, it revealed the fate of Snig and Oopla by putting it up on the screen, showing the pair of them frozen in carbonite. I think that's Disney's way of certainly paying tribute to the past, but also saying that's done. No more. They're gone. The improv in this Padawan Mind Challenge show is hilarious. The rest of the show is a little rough. It was opening day. I'm sure it'll improve in the coming days and weeks. But the actors playing the Imperial officers fantastically funny. Again, video over on our YouTube channel. You really want to see the last 2 minutes of it. You will die laughing. It was incredibly funny. So yeah, that's sort of my my report from Star Wars Weekends #1. Many more to come. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what Mark Hamill has to say in the future. It's really fun to see Disney and Star Wars joining, well, forces here, and seeing how Disney is going way out of their way to show that they are treating Star Wars with respect, especially with this new movie coming out. They don't want to have it be out there that Disney is somehow poking fun at this series. They don't want anybody to think that J.J. Abrams is unable to handle the reins that have been handed to him to make sure that this is right. So you heard Peter Mayhew earlier saying how he's going back to the original style of the style of the original trilogy and really going in that direction. And I don't think we're going to hear much about the prequels anytime in the near future. I mean, Ahmed Best was there, Jar Jar, but other than him and Ray Park, who was Darth Maul, there was not really a whole lot of prequel action to come at Star Wars Weekends, and I think the real emphasis is on now the original trilogy, followed immediately by the new trilogy. I'm really excited to see how all of it comes together.
Hi, Ricky. Hi, Ricky.
Hey, Ricky.
Hi, Ricky.
Hi, Ricky.
Hey, Ricky.
Ricky, this is amazing.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
Inside the Magic Listener Feedback.
And now let's read some emails, starting with a special upcoming happening that I want to mention here. Kevin wrote to me to tell me all about Mice Hunt. This year's official Mice Hunt will be Saturday, August 23rd at California Adventure from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. They're going to give away some prizes. It is free to participate. Some of the prizes will include an original light bulb from the Main Street Electrical Parade at Disneyland, a Little Mermaid trading card with Ursula signed by Pat Carroll, The Seekers of the Weird #1 comic signed by Rolly Crump and 5 other Imagineers, and of course members on the winning teams will receive some Mice Hunt lanyards, and those lanyards were created by Lanyard Lab, so there's that. You can go to micehunt.com to find out more about this scavenger hunt. It sounds like a whole lot of fun. Next email comes in from Eric. And Eric writes, I've been meaning to send you this for months, and the release of Tom Amin's Magical Moments brought it back to mind. Now, this is not a paid endorsement for Tom Amin, but a great use of his music for our traditional Disney vacation videos. At the end of each year's video, I insert a picture montage with his music in the background, and having our images fade in and out to his music simply completes the video. So for all those parents out there who make videos like I do, I strongly encourage you to buy each of Tom's related albums. Eric, great tip there. Of course, we've been hearing Tom Amin's music here on the show for many, many years, and I'm looking forward to hearing even more from him in the future. I know he's working on some more fun Disney music, so his albums are wonderful, and I can't recommend them enough, and now you have even another reason to do it. It's a great idea to use sort of that music for your own personal use to create your Disney video scrapbook, if you will. It's perfect music for that use, so thanks for that email. Next is a voice message from Nathaniel.
Hi, Ricky. This is Nathaniel in Des Moines, Iowa. First of all, great job with the show. It's awesome to listen to every week. I just wanted to call in response to a listener question on this past episode about pet supplies at Disney, the Disney-branded dog and cat toys. We just got back from Orlando and spoke with people all over downtown Disney about that. They do not sell any pet supplies anymore, but said it's one of the most common questions they get every day as far as what happened to it, and suggested that we and everybody we know that may want that call, write, or email into Disney and let them know we would want that product line brought back. They said there's been some talk about bringing it back, but they just don't know if there's enough demand for it or not. So they do want everybody to write in to let them know that there is interest. Anyways, great job on the show. Thanks again. Have a great day.
Great piece of advice there. Thanks very much for that call. Certainly always a good idea when something you don't like or something you want to change or just, some recommendations, voice your opinion, you can always write to Disney, like you said. And if enough people do that, Disney will get the message. So if there's a lot of you out there that want those pet products back at Disney, just send him a note. Keith writes in and says, as a connoisseur of all things Disney, is there anything you think Disneyland has to offer visitors that Disney World just can't provide? It seems like Disney World gets all the attention when it comes to new attractions and additions to the park. So do you think Disneyland can give visitors an experience that you won't be able to get at Disney World? Keith, yes. Yes, of course. If you think back for the last few years, there's been a lot of attention on Disneyland and not on Walt Disney World. Sure, we got New Fantasyland, but if you look at what that really is, we have a dark ride that California Adventure always also has. We have a couple of restaurants. Sure, one of them is fantastic. Be our guest. A couple of restaurants, store, and then the new Seven Dwarfs Mine Train opening soon. But you look at Disneyland over the last few years, and, well, Cars Land, World of Color, and then The Little Mermaid was added as well. Star Tours, I guess, was on both coasts. But point being, some big, well, of course, Buena Vista Street, how could I possibly forget that, and all the improvements surrounding that. A lot has been going on at Disneyland lately, and there's a lot. I mean, I could literally sit here and list for 10 minutes the things that I love at Disneyland that I wish we had out here at Walt Disney World. Of course, Trader Sam's would have been one of them, and now we're getting that, so I'm happy about that. But yes, there is plenty of unique things at Disneyland that are not offered at Walt Disney World, and it is highly recommended to visit both coasts. And if you're so enamored by Walt Disney World, you've been here a million times, you go to Disneyland, skip the things that are the same, because they're the same, and just focus on the many things that are not, like Fantasyland dark rides and their Pirates of the Caribbean attraction and so much. But anyway, I'm not going to sit here and list all of them, but yes, there are many differences, and I think Disneyland has a lot to offer that Walt Disney World does not. Just a different type of experience. Next email is from Amanda, who writes, I'm traveling from Australia to visit Walt Disney World in July, staying at All-Star Movies, and I was wondering if you've heard from any international travelers receiving their Magic Bands, as they are not shipping them internationally. I'm sure Disney won't disappoint, but I'm worried the band won't be there when I need it. I was also planning on visiting Universal for 2 days, but have been warned Disney makes it hard for you to get off-site. Any tips for getting there? Any other solo Disney traveler tips would be greatly appreciated. P.S. Are Anna and Elsa likely to stay at Fairy Tale Hall for the summer? I don't want to book a fast pass for Fairy Tale Hall to discover them not there that day. Amanda, great questions, and I see your email address even includes Harry Potter in it, which I can imagine why you're heading over to Universal then. So to answer your first question, Magic Bands you'll get when you show up as an international guest. I don't believe Disney is shipping internationally for those, but it should not be a problem when you show up, as long as you've done all your reservations. Sounds like you're staying on Walt Disney World property, so you should be able to have all of that worked out once you arrive. Getting to Universal, you're right, of course, Disney does not offer their own transportation, but there are options. I always say Mears is a good option to look into. It's a shuttle that's relatively inexpensive that you can get from Disney to Universal and back. It's not like it's $5 or anything, but well worth it, especially if you are a huge Harry Potter fan and you're going to be going over there. You're coming in July. All of the Harry Potter stuff should be open by then, and you'll have a lot of fun. Solo Disney traveler tips. My one tip that I always say for anyone going to the parks by themselves is to talk to people often, whether it's a cast member at a store or just the people around you in line. You can make new friends or just have a casual conversation, find out where people are from, what they're doing there. You never know, you might find another solo traveler that you want to hang around with for the trip. So generally speaking, people are mostly happy when they're in the parks, unless it's really hot and they're hungry or tired or having a meltdown of some sort. But other than that, people are generally pretty happy in the parks, and they're always interested to hear stories from other people. So you're all coming from all the way from Australia. There's nobody who's not going to want to find out more about your travel adventures. So as far as Anna and Elsa, as far as anybody knows, they'll be staying in Princess Fairy Tale Hall for the foreseeable future. They're not going to be there forever, but I highly doubt they're going to move this summer. They just got there, so I wouldn't worry about that. One more email, and then we'll wrap this up. Comes in from Craig, who writes, my family is headed to Disneyland this summer in June, and my tip is if you have a My Disney Experience account and book dining reservations for Disneyland, they are saved in the app. I had already booked all of my dining reservations and stumbled upon this when checking out the updates to the My Disney Experience app. If you pull up your reservations, they are listed in order with confirmation numbers. This is a nice way to keep your reservations organized at your fingertips. I wonder if this means there's a possibility of FastPass Plus in Disneyland's future. Craig, that last bit is why I included this email here in listener feedback rather than as a tip. Because, yes, there is some sort of form of all of this headed for Disneyland. It's not necessarily the same experience that we're seeing out here. The Fast Pass Plus, My Magic Plus, Magic Band, everywhere, everything sort of experience. It might be something on a much smaller scale. It's unclear as to exactly what version of this will go to Disneyland once it's fully tested out here. But Tom Staggs, chairman of Parks and Resorts, Disney Parks and Resorts, has said multiple times that they are planning on rolling this out, not only to Disneyland, but worldwide in some form. What that form is remains to be seen. So, yes, that is a good tip for Disneyland, to use the app to sort of keep track of your reservations, and then we'll just hang on and see what happens in the future as far as all of this heading out to California. And that is it for your news. No, we did news a long time ago. That's it for listener feedback this week.
There's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.
So here we are at the end of show 476. If you want even more Star Wars Weekends fun, head over to InsideTheMagic.net and definitely check our YouTube channel. I'm going to be posting a little bit more in the near future, so even if you already think you've seen it all, you have not, because it's not all up there yet. Although if you're listening to this like 4 months from now, it probably is. But if you're listening on May 18th, it's not. So yeah, that's going to be up there pretty soon with much more to come as Star Wars continues to develop, not only in the coming weeks at Star Wars Weekends, but for the next year and a half leading up to episode 7, which everybody's obviously very excited about. But there's much, much more ahead. We're really looking forward to Diagon Alley opening up over at Universal Studios Florida. That could be any day now. Team members are already training over there. Things are starting to pull together. Construction is still going on. They're putting the final touches on it, so it's not like it's going to open tomorrow. But I wouldn't be surprised if a soft opening of some sort happened this month. Maybe not the whole thing, but parts of it. So stay tuned for all of that. There's a lot of excitement ahead there. Of course, the 24-hour party's coming up this coming weekend. I'm sure I'll have something fun to talk about from that, and much more. I do want to thank Magical Travel for sponsoring this week's episode of Inside the Magic. You can find out more about their services by visiting magicaltravel.com. And also, since I mentioned Lanyard Lab earlier, please visit us over at lanyardlab.com to see all of the different styles and custom lanyard options that we have available. That's what I do when I'm not doing Inside the Magic. I run Lanyard Lab, so please do request a price quote today there to receive a free digital preview of your lanyard design. You could use a custom lanyard for a business, a school, a church, anything. Lots of uses. We sell to all kinds of organizations and individuals and family reunions and all that sort of thing. So check it out, lanyardlab.com. And of course, between episodes of this show, visit InsideMagic.net. It is your source for Disney and theme park news with all of our podcasts and videos and photos and news and articles. Find us on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube. This was our biggest Facebook week ever. We reached literally millions of people with all of the Harry Potter news and Star Wars news and everything else. So pretty exciting there. So if you're not following us on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube, you really should be doing just that. So thanks to all of you for listening each and every week. And have a magical week. Bye.
At the end of every day, there's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. Just a dream away.